to That Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to That Wrestling Podcast. It's Jason, and the man with one hand in his pocket and the other is hailing a taxi cab. Kevin Cox is back. What's up, buddy?
Hey, we're like Diesel and Shawn Michaels.
How was the Alanis Morissette concert?
Oh, it was fantastic. Jagged Little Pill.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite records of all time, much like I stated last week. Brian's on vacation and Joe is on assignment. He may show up later, who knows? But we are back. March Madness is underway. Kevin, MSU won yesterday, and wasn't really much of a contest.
The real MSU was victorious over fake MSU because they're both MSU.
Oh yeah. How about that?
I've always thought that. I always said Mississippi State University was fake MSU. But yeah, they won by 18, and tomorrow they go against North Carolina, number 1 at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which I'll probably be drunk because I'm going to be excited for that game.
So when you were at MSU, did you ever run into Izzo?
I did. I sat in the Izzone, which is like the court side, for 4 years, and each time before the basketball season started, like you'd always go, and it was like a meet and greet and different things like that. He's crazy.
That guy never looks happy.
Hot-tempered man.
He looks angry all the time.
Well, he's like 70. He like yells at clouds and different things like that.
Yeah. So that March Madness podcast will be something later. We're gonna get into some wrestling. AEW was really good this week. You know, you weren't here last week. What was your initial thoughts about Mercedes showing up last week and the promo and then the dumbass song and her whack ass haircut and other assorted things that I did not like last week?
The haircut's fun. She's always had like different style, multicolored hairs, right? It's kind of like one of those finger paintings that my kid did when he was like 2 years old, like throwing in a lot of colors that looks cool when you're like the parent, right? But like to a lot of people, not for everyone. I think it's fun. She can pull it off. I think she looked like $1 million. I might be the only one who really thought the song was okay. It was okay. It's very chant worthy. Or like sing worthy.
Terrible, Kevin.
But I don't like the only bad thing about it is I don't know if she refers to herself as the CEO or if her song refers her to CEO more as in when she talks on the microphone. That's a little much because when she was in WWE, you know, the boss, CEO's like the boss, just doesn't flow. I don't like it. But the song, I know Brian's like, oh, it's like Gunther's original song mixed with different, like the remix.
So bad.
It's catchy. That's the thing. It's just so people would chant along with it.
Well, she does refer to herself as the CEO because she did it on Wednesday. Two of the Mercedes experiment.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the tease of Willow turning heel is pretty interesting. I thought Willow was going to smack her up with the chair, which would have been pretty awesome. But the real thing about AEW that I wanted to talk to you about was the new Continental Crown champion, Kazuchika Okada.
Yeah.
You're not a fan.
It's not that I'm not a fan. I think I need to kind of like Will Ospreay. Okay. I didn't know extreme amounts of him. And then me and Brett started watching a lot of him on YouTube and like his moves on the indies, and he does some crazy stuff. The only thing with Okada is one, he amazing in the ring. Like, how do you put it? When you're like so precise in the ring, not diabolical, methodical. Is that how you say it? Like he's very slow at times, wants to cause pain, wants to like zero in on different limbs. I just feel that the finisher, it's kind of like a glorified like flip around clothesline.
The Rainmaker.
I know, but it's
I think that's like, what I don't even know what it's called, but
I think it is called the Rainmaker.
Oh, okay.
I just such an amazing athlete. I don't know. It's kind of like the clothesline from hell back in the day.
Okay,
I'm like, oh, but JBL made that thing look crazy. Maybe it's just the way Kingston took it. I don't know. Kingston's not the most athletic guy, right? But
he's getting there.
He is getting there. like the match was fun. It was really fun. And Kingston held the belt, I think, for 81 days.
Yeah.
Beat a few people, made the belt good and or worthy, right? And Okada having it, it almost is just gonna make it kind of like Gunther with the Intercontinental, Okada with the Continental,
Right.
is only gonna make it a pretty great belt. Well, look at it. Edge has a supplemental belt, and Okada has a
We'll get into
supplemental
that in a
belt.
minute.
Like
Yeah.
that's
Well,
pretty
the
awesome.
thing with Okada, I think it was pretty telegraphed that he was going to come in and be a champion right away, pairing him with the EVPs. I love Eddie Kingston. Was surprised, but not surprised that he lost. And back to that whole he's getting better. Go check him out on Instagram. He's been working out with Caesar Bononi. I don't know if you remember him from NXT and AEW. He's a personal trainer and he's really whipping Kingston into shape. And the workout videos on Instagram are pretty awesome. They're pretty inspirational too. So go check that out.
So the worst thing about Okada winning, and this is shame on AEW, I feel like when they did the cutback when the Bucks, when they were like celebrating in the back, they were like standing. There
Super
was like a
late.
1 to 2 second, where they just stood and then they cheered. Where I'm like, come on, guys.
I want to say that might be on purpose.
Really?
Remember a couple weeks ago when they did that live shot backstage? It was obviously recorded, but I think that's on purpose.
Okay.
I
Okay. Well,
really
they
feel
fooled
like
me.
that
They
is a
got me then. Yeah.
delayed reaction, but it's on purpose. I think it's for a dramatic effect, and it's working.
Okay.
It is working.
Well, I got worked. I'll tell you because I saw it
I
and
didn't
I'm
mean
like,
it like that.
well,
But I do.
it was one of those where both ways. Yeah. When I saw it, I was just like, oh, dang. So
So the I Quit match, we get it. It was
yeah.
in Toronto. And guess what? They like hockey there.
In a penalty box.
But it is obvious
Yeah.
the fan with the Bruins jersey was a plant. No one is wearing a Bruins jersey in Toronto. They're just not. So I thought that was corny. The penalty box fight was corny. I did not like the hockey stick as the weapon of choice.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the ending, how they were all handcuffed in the corner and Copeland just kept kicking Christian in the dick over and over and over and over. And that wasn't what got him. It was the spikes to the dick and then the attempted spike to the head. So, this is another situation of an ex WWE guy getting a title really quick in AEW.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing what he does with it. That's the thing. Like right off the bat, came in, big name. Christian, I still think is elevated higher, even when Edge has the belt right now. Christian is taking that belt and his status to unbelievable levels in AEW. I really enjoyed I enjoyed the match. Corny parts, kind of like all the punny stuff, right? With the glorified hockey references. I felt like it could have been saved for a bigger platform. I understand it was in Toronto. They want to do something big because that's where they're from and all that. But I don't know. It just felt like I always go back and I'm not comparing this to Goldberg, Hogan whatsoever, but I always think about like that night at the Georgia Dome, right? They put it on for free. That could have been one they could have put on at what's the event coming up in April?
Dynasty, April
Yeah, it could have
21st.
been it that was a pay-per-view worthy
Yes.
match.
But
That was
I get why though that they put it on TV. They needed the lead in because it was Rampage last night as well. But what I thought was corny right before the ending, screen went black. And then it came back on. Welcome to Rampage. Like, come on. No need for that. I mean, they were in the overrun time and stuff like that. But I don't know. The stuff Christian Cage is doing is amazing. Yes, it was another case of a former WWE guy getting a belt quick, but I don't know. It was a good episode of
Dynamite.
Dynamite. Sorry, I got sidetracked. I heard something outside. As you can see, we're recording a little earlier than normal, and there's actual sunlight coming into my room. It's not just my ring light here. I want to talk to you about something that was not on the rundown, Kevin. And since the other two aren't here, we have some time to fill because those guys they like to talk. The Wrestling Observer Newsletter Awards have been come out. They've been published, and Bray Wyatt won his 5th award for worst match of the year. Did you see this?
It's the Mountain Dew. So I didn't click on it, but I go on Web is Jericho.
Yeah, that's where I got the link.
Okay, I don't follow that many things on Facebook, so literally every update of Web is Jericho always is on there when I go on Facebook, like 2 to 3 times a day.
All right.
And I saw it on there, and well, I think he has LA Knight and like Sister Abigail, or it's
the photo. Yep.
Yeah. So, and I didn't click on it, so but I feel bad. He just has so many gimmicky.
I love the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match.
Yeah.
Back a year ago and hear how much I love that. But he won this award, this worst match of the year, 5 times.
That's a high 5 right there.
Wyatt won this award for his match with John Cena at Extreme Rules in 2014, and then dominated the category with his WrestleMania 33 match against Randy Orton, Hell in a Cell match with Seth Rollins, Swamp Fight, and the Swamp Fight with Braun Strowman. All collected.
We were there, right? Was that Art in Santa Clarita? Was that the one versus Randy?
No, that was not Santa Clarita. That was Santa Clara.
Santa Clara.
I used to live in Santa Clarita.
Oh, that's
Santa Clara, San Francisco area. So he has won the award 5 times.
Man, is that like the wrestling Razzie? He's like the Tom Green of like, didn't Tom Green always win those?
I don't know, but why I brought this up was announced that April 1st, there is a Bray Wyatt documentary coming to Peacock, which I think is pretty cool. Any thoughts on the 5-time award-winning Bray Wyatt and his upcoming documentary?
A few thoughts on this. I like the preview with Bo Dallas as part of it. I think it's huge. I like it that it's only 2 weeks away from the announcement. It's not like coming this fall or this summer right before SummerSlam. You know what I mean? Or like,
well, if Brian was here, he would be like, yeah, that Vlad documentary, they recorded it and said it was going to be a trailer, and then 9 years later it finally came out. He would have said.
I'm excited for it. From the little snippet that we saw, it looks like it was beautifully done. So
it feels very heartfelt.
Yeah.
And I think that it'll definitely be a good watch. I don't know if it'll be better than the Cody documentary, but only time will tell. But then, of course, this brings up another Bray Wyatt thing that has been all over the internet, that Bray Wyatt should be going into the Hall of Fame this year. I don't think he should, just because he died. And I know that's a touchy subject, and some people are all in, and some people kind of do feel like I do. But what do you think, Kev? If he didn't die, there would be no talk of Bray Wyatt to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, like at this point of his life?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
So
not at all.
Do you think that he is worthy just because he passed away?
When you look at a lot of the people that have entered the Hall of Fame, like over years, might not have had a Hall of Fame style career. Yeah, but I don't think I wouldn't put him in now, but just for the fact where there's been so many announcements. Like if he put in now, it almost looked like, oh, you're thrown in there as one of the last people. I think if he's going to be announced, it should have been right after Heyman. I don't think he should have been the cream of the crop. Heyman is your headliner, even though they don't say headliner for some damn reason. Was it rumored that Rock's granny is going to be, or grandma's going to be there?
I got a little angry about that last week.
If he gets mentioned, like maybe they'll mention it right after the documentary, maybe in the closing segments, it'll say, and Hall of Famer, maybe it's something to snippet like that. I just think it feels cheap if they throw him in as the last, because I think wait a couple years, and then same with like Luke Harper.
Yeah.
Put him in together. Like, and then if you put him in both together, both unfortunate health situations, like maybe you do something like that. Because I think that's how Luke Harper would get in, is because of Bray, though. I don't think Luke Harper has done enough.
Well, you know, it's
Period.
funny you bring that up, and Tony Khan was quoted that if they ever do a AEW Hall of Fame,
Mhm.
Sting, Brody Lee, and Jay Briscoe would be immediate first entrance, which is weird because Jay never wrestled at AEW. He had a very successful Ring of Honor career, but Sting and Brody Lee, Sting definitely, Brody Lee into the Hall of Fame makes a little bit of sense for AEW because he was one of the first big stars to defect and go to AEW from
And
WWE.
be successful. Very
Welcome,
I
successful.
Joe.
completely agree. I
Yeah.
completely agree with everything Kevin said. It's amazing that you have so knowledgeable about this. How's it going, guys?
So, Joe, does Bray Wyatt belong in the Hall of Fame just because he passed away this year?
No, but he belongs in the Hall of Fame eventually. Didn't have to be this year, but he does. But he is a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Fame talent. He was a Hall of Fame character. He was a Hall of Fame mind.
Very cool.
Because I kind of compare, if he did get put in the Hall of Fame, I almost compared it to like when Edge had to retire. But at that point, Edge had a Hall of Fame career, right? And he got put in very soon after, and you know, Edge is still living, and of course, an unfortunate Bray Wyatt passing. But in that situation, I almost thought at that point, is it too soon even for Edge? And I was very happy he got it in a make believe Hall of Fame. But
Nice.
I think one too early. Two, I don't want to see him have the consolation prize.
Right.
Right,
So,
because it's like the main event is going to be Heyman. So
exactly.
Mhm.
And we'll see how that goes. Kev had the idea of maybe towards the end of that documentary that if they do decide to induct him this year, that it'll be brought up in the documentary 4 days before WrestleMania. But I don't really see that happening, and I don't think that he's a Hall of Famer just because he died. So moving
so you
forward,
don't think he'll ever get in, or
I think down the road,
not a first ballot Hall of Famer is
right?
what we're
I
really
mean,
talking about.
yeah, I think that he is a Hall of Famer for the content he created and the characters and the person that he is. But just because he died, I don't think that that's why they should put him in this year.
Two-time champion too, like two-time WWE champion.
And before you got on, we just discussed he is a 5-time worst match of the year winner, and his fifth win was the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match from last year with LA
Which
Knight.
we all disagree with. That was
I
not the
want to.
worst match.
I want a pay-per-view. I still want that Mountain Dew Pitch Black pay-per-view. All the matches like that, but
What were some other like worst ones? Was it the
it was
House of
John
Horrors match?
Cena. It was the Swamp match with Braun Strowman. It
Okay.
was I just read here.
It couldn't. It's not the John Cena uh, uh, Firefly Funhouse match, is
No,
it?
It
that
was
match rocked.
John Cena at Extreme Rules in 2014, WrestleMania 33 with Randy
Okay.
Orton, his Hell in a Cell match with Seth Rollins, and the Swamp fight with Braun Strowman, and then the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match with
Okay.
Los
Because I'm like, yeah, the
Angeles.
John Cena one was freaking amazing.
Yeah. So 5
All
times.
right.
Congrats. Moving
Sorry,
over.
I'm late, boys.
You know, it's fine. Where you're in a hotel, it looks like. Where are you?
Yeah, well, we just hit spring break, finished conferences today, so headed up to Petoskey to do a little bit of just relaxing right on the water.
Nice.
So
Tell Jessica to get you a ding beer.
Check
no, I brought
kick his ass if he doesn't like
Woman,
that.
get him some bourbon.
yeah, and there's the view if you can see it.
Wow, look at
Oh,
that water,
very-
Joe. Nice.
Yeah,
Very
so yeah,
nice.
we're spoiling ourselves this weekend. It's all right.
I
Was
pay you
about
very
25
well,
degrees?
obviously, maybe too well.
What was that?
I said
I said,
pay
was it
you
about
way too
25?
well.
Oh,
Yes.
He ain't fucking worrying about the temperature, Kevin. It's about me and what I said.
Yeah, they're paying me too well. No, we're just
paying
enjoying.
you too
You're
well.
paid. Yeah. Well,
Come
I think we need
on.
to negotiate a little bit of a higher raise if I'm going to be hitting towns like this.
Yeah. So we're moving over to Monday Night Raw.
All right.
And Kev, you weren't here, but last week we had a very heated conversation about one Samuel Zayn and him going up against Gunther. He had a very good promo this week, but the only thing people are talking about is the drone footage of them following him back into the backstage area.
It was like 2 minutes, man. It was
But, like,
amazing.
it was great,
Wow.
but it takes away from the promo, no?
Yeah. No, I thought I thought the promo in the ring was great. But the entire nonstop it was almost like a cherry on top, right? And when you're gonna always remember almost the climax of all the situation because that's the most exciting, and it was continuing his end. So technically, it was still part of it, part of his segment, you'll
Joe,
say.
thoughts?
But I think the in ring on the mic by Sammy I thought was good. I still think credibility to defeat Gunther.
Oh my God, I can mute people. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can. You knew that. You muted me numerous times.
Hold on, Kim. Now I don't know how to unmute you.
It says you would like to unmute me.
Okay, got you.
Damn, I
didn't know I could do that. You're fucked now, Joe.
Yes, I am.
What
I thought
did you think of the promo and the camera shot?
camera shot. It was. I'm not gonna lie. I forgot about it. I like you when you sent out the rundown and said all people are talking about is a camera shot. I guess I wasn't paying much attention to the camera shot afterwards because all I was focused on was, oh, they're playing that he's the underdog and he's like he can't win. It's like this is Rocky 4. Like I was just like, you can't win. Like that's all I was thinking about. And it's like they're gonna be playing that card of Sammy's believing in himself again and he's gonna do it. So
Rocky.
I guess I didn't focus on the camera shot because I was too busy like going, man, I really defended Sammy being in this match, but if that's the storyline they're going with, maybe we should have went with Chad Gable.
Yeah, and Rocky 4, greatest soundtrack of all time. No debate.
Behind Purple Rain.
Nope, no debate. Also, another promo on the Monday Night Raw was Cody. Called Dwayne an asshole. Says he has little dick energy.
Little dick syndrome, LDS.
Oh,
LDS.
LDS, little dick syndrome. Yeah, I love it. And I'm sure this is making a good. This next statement will make absolutely no sense.
Should I say it?
But Dwayne makes me not want to listen to wrestling podcasts anymore.
What? Okay.
Because that's all that people were talking about. I have added new subject podcasts that aren't wrestling this week. I'm just tired of everybody saying the same shit like it's the greatest thing ever, and it's not.
So how's that Pokemon podcast?
Fucking amazing, man.
Is it awesome? How's that
I got them
Salute
all.
Your Shorts 1996 podcast? Pretty good.
And the Alanis Morissette breakdown of Jagged Little Pill is an amazing podcast as well. It's called Jagged Little Pod. Go check it out wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Did you check out Fly on the Wall yet? Because that's entertaining too.
No.
That's Dana Carvey, David Spade talking about years at SNL and stuff like that. They're pretty decent. They're pretty bad interviewers, but they're funny because they constantly interrupt their guests and talk about themselves all the time, and then call themselves out on it.
Nice. Yeah, the one I really got into was Courtside Club. Rachel Demita, she's a basketball influencer. She was the female on 2K News whenever for the video game, the NBA game. She was like the female voice of that. And she had on today with the professor from And One. Remember him?
Yeah, I remember.
He lived in my neighborhood when I lived in LA. So I'd see him around from time to time. So anyway, yeah, Dwayne makes me not want to listen to wrestling podcasts anymore.
So what's your take on the Cody promo then from Monday? Because I loved it.
I thought it was great because it was unlike anything we had seen before from him. Now, earlier in the day on Monday, Cody posted a picture of his Bullet Club era Cody. So if this is what we're going to get, all right, we only got a couple more weeks until
it's almost over.
So, but the Dwayne stuff, I'm just, yeah.
So the biggest thing is Cody will be on SmackDown tonight with the agreement with Heyman. It's which Cody are we going to get? Are we going to get badass Cody, you know what I mean? Kind of PG-13-ish, or are we going to get, you know what I mean? Referencing, oh, I love my Cody crybabies and different things like that. I kind of want to see him be a badass still.
Well,
That we'll find out tonight.
There's
if
only
the
so
whole
much he can
thing
get
is
away with then.
Well, he's not going to say,
Fox.
fuck you, Roman. Oh, okay. Yeah. I get you.
But the big thing is the storyline is it's one-on-one. There's no outside interference. Nobody else is going to be with them. But do we actually believe that? Because how many times has Solo been kicked out of ringside and then come back to help Roman win?
Well, it happened at WrestleMania last year. Somebody I know was there and called it. I don't remember. Was that you, Kevin?
I am pretty smart. I know. So
well, it kind of happened at SummerSlam too, right?
yeah.
Oh yeah, with Jimmy.
Yeah.
We were
That's
there
Solo
too.
everywhere.
Yeah, Solo everywhere. But no, I think it was good. It was a new side of Cody that we didn't
I liked it.
normally see in the 2 years that he's been back. Other WrestleMania things, 3 of the teams qualified for the 6-pack ladder match. DIY beat the Creeds, which I did not like. I thought the Creeds needed a WrestleMania moment.
Yeah.
I wanted them both to win. That's the thing. They shouldn't have faced each other.
Okay, so I'm looking at these 3 matches here. Miz Truth beat Indus Sher, and New Day beat the Alpha Academy JV team. How would you have structured the matches so that the Creeds and DIY into the ladder match?
Joe? I wouldn't have had New Day in the ladder match. I would have had Creed beat New Day. That would have put them over as the next group, and DIY could have beat Indus Sher.
Well, that'd have been good.
Yeah,
I think like those two, like DIY, Gargano and Ciampa beating like those giants, it would have been back to like, why we cheer them on and still do. So that's what I would have done. I would have had the Creeds in there and DIY. And you got to have Awesome Truth in there because they have the storyline with it's for this. There's 6 teams.
Yeah.
Who are the last 2?
Whoever's on SmackDown tonight. I haven't done that research. Kev, if you want to look, go right ahead because I'm not that prepared. I'm not.
I was going to say one of them should
be
the Street Profits.
I imagine it'd be the Street Profits, and I would love to see Dom and JD get in there too as like an insurance policy.
I thought maybe like AOP.
AOP would be another good one because you
got the Street Profits, and then you got that.
Oh,
that's
there you go. Yeah,
there you go. Done.
Because you got 3 good guy teams in there right now with the guys from Raw. So, I was bummed. I don't really love R-Truth, but I do love Jinder Mahal and everything he is associated with. So, Truth beating Indus Sher really put me in a bad state of mind. And of course,
but he's well, okay. Who do you dislike more? R-Truth stuff or just Johnny Gargano, period?
I like Johnny Gargano.
See, I feel I'm
Johnny
bored.
Wrestling.
I'm bored with everything he's done.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, but now that he's back with Ciampa and DIY, I'm like digging that because they're not doing anything really silly.
See, I feel like Ciampa went. I feel like Gargano increased because of the Ciampa, and Ciampa's there, so they're kind of just meeting at the middle and right there at the mid.
They're leveling each other out, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leveling yourself
well,
out.
whatever. I think.
All it takes is one match.
I think Gargano's wife is doing way better.
Right now. 100%. Yes, thank you. More personality.
You just did a Maury Povich. You're not the father. Like, whoa.
Joe can't agree with you more. Cannot agree with you more. And I'll give Indy her acting skills with her facial expressions. Like, how can you do that? Like, so good. But 2 weeks of
Candace?
I'll say yes, thank you.
Candace being a mean girl?
The Pixie, Candace, like amazing. I love it.
She's doing what she has to do to win.
But she's still smiling. She's still being the peppy person. She's just Gargano.
Your knees injured? I'm gonna start blasting it right now.
Love it. Absolutely love it. It's so good. Thank you for bringing that up because honestly, that was holy crap. That was.
I wanted to see what they were going to do with the story.
Yeah.
After last week, getting the backlash of you brought up her dead brother. How dare? I'm like, but they're finally changing her character to what she should be. So I wanted to see if she was going to be verbally abusive, and she wasn't. This time, she was physically abusive and still got the win and was smiling afterwards. So I'm loving it.
So, Joe, we'll start with you. What'd you think of the main event? Last woman standing, Becky Lynch, Nia Jax.
You are gonna hate me for this. I fell asleep. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh,
Well, I fell asleep.
No,
I
I
haven't
think you're
watched it yet.
cool. No, just kidding. You
So
suck.
I'm not saying
No,
that
I
I'm
think
not
you're
going
cool.
to.
No, just kidding. You suck.
Can I speak yet?
Go ahead.
Your fingers on the button.
Joe, I think
I
you're
was
cool. No, just
okay.
kidding. You suck.
watch it though, Joe.
Well,
I'll
I
tell you
plan
how
on it.
much.
When
It's
I plan on it,
it's
I have all next week off.
Joe, I think
So
you're cool. No, just kidding. You suck.
that's the name of this week's episode.
I would say that's probably the most athletic overall I've ever seen Nia.
Yeah.
So good. Loved
Yeah.
every bit of it.
She looked like a monster, played the role as a monster. And with that, she elevated Becky. The thing is, Mania's in what, 2.5? No.
2
yeah,
weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Like she's gonna
15
be
days.
she's gonna somehow get in that match. If it's a run-in and cause.
I don't know. I think Liv Morgan has more of an opportunity to be involved than Nia.
See, I feel like Nia could just run down, beat the shit out of Becky, cause her the championship. Something not being in the match, but being part of the match
Interfering.
somehow.
But remember, that's a
interfering.
long runway.
Well, maybe they're gonna have the
It's like a
motorized scooter like
65 yard.
WrestleMania. No, the WrestleMania
carts.
3. Or maybe she'll be like the second Doink. What's his name? Not the original, and he'll have to
Pink.
in the ring for 5.5 hours.
Oh God, that's hilarious.
But
Yeah,
something like because I just don't want to see Nia. This is the first time ever. I'll say I don't want to see Nia just go away because the stuff she's been doing with Becky. And the nice thing is, Rhea Ripley's kind of taking the back seat and letting this be the number one's women thing on Raw multiple weeks in a row. So it's elevated Becky, but now let's get the main event.
I find
Does
it
Becky
interesting.
need to elevate?
I think she made Nia has made Becky look like she can beat a monster because that's exactly what Rhea is, though. Because when you put Becky and Rhea staring at each other, boy, there's no way in logical sense that Becky should be able to beat her when you just have them looking at each other. But she beat Nia multiple times.
It's interesting. We are 2 weeks out from WrestleMania, and Bianca Belair still does not have a match for WrestleMania.
I know.
How crazy loaded is the roster that's happening?
Yeah.
Is she going to do something with Naomi at WrestleMania with Damage Control? Because they're kind of like,
well, now they're
That's a good
saying
call.
Oscar's hurt.
yeah. So
Yeah.
now who's going to fill in?
I guess we'll find out tonight on SmackDown.
Maybe tonight. Yeah.
'Cause I'm sure they'll
Jade
do
doesn't
something.
have anything. I thought maybe
Jade-
she would get announced something.
Jade will be night after WrestleMania. I don't think she'll
No.
be at WrestleMania. I think we get her the night after and then start from there, whatever that is. Don't know. Or possibly stand and deliver the day of WrestleMania Saturday. So only time will tell. There was a story in the New York Post about WWE needing to look in the mirror and do business like AEW has in recent weeks about free agency. Look, AEW's had a really good month. You know, they got Osprey, they got Okada, and they got Mercedes. But I don't think WWE needs to do that type of business because WWE is doing just fine. Joe, we'll go to you. Did you read the article? And what
Found it, read it, and it's a nice opinion piece, but he's not looking at the big picture of they're already creating their own big time free agents. It's what NXT is.
Yeah.
So you want to make a big splash, you like build the people up at NXT. As much as I would have loved to have seen Osprey come to WWE, what would he like? That would be awesome, but he's needed more in AEW and WWE. Like they're doing fine without these three.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just talked about how Bianca Belair still doesn't have a match yet at WrestleMania. Would Sasha Banks have had a match at WrestleMania back this time?
Yeah,
Would it
she
have
would
been
in
against
the main
Bianca?
event, and it would have been for a title. And the guy that wrote the article, he's apparently pretty fair when it comes to wrestling coverage for the New York Post. I don't have his name handy, but they think that I think that, like I said a month or two ago, Okada going to AEW is not getting him on the Masked Singer. It's just not. It can get him on stupid pet tricks
Or Deal
with
or
Sarah
No Deal
Silverman.
Island?
No, Deal or Deal No Island would be if he got to WWE.
Right.
Osprey, same situation. Could be a worldwide star if he would have went to WWE. But who's to say it won't happen? Mercedes already said she will be back there at some point. That was pretty funny. Right before her announcement, Kev, she was on some podcast and said, "Oh, I'm sure I'll be back there at some point." So she's just grabbing the highest contract in women's wrestling history, and it's good for now. But I'll be leaving soon.
But
So,
that kind of supports what the article said, because they said the biggest signings that WWE has had when AEW contracts expire, except for Naomi. He pinpointed pointed that out, that of course Naomi didn't come from AEW. There's valid points. It was written kind of like not pro AEW or pro WWE. Like it is what it is. We all knew everything about it. He just put it down on paper.
I just found it funny. That's all.
I just
Yeah,
didn't
it's
like
just
it that it was like one paragraph. Then there's a video, an ad, another ad. Then I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
is it
know, I
already
know.
done? And then I
Yeah.
scroll down more. I'm like, wait, there's more. Like Ron Popeil and
I look at it like
Benjamin.
this. They said free agent signing, so they're making it. He wrote it like it was a legit sport, and it's like
Yeah.
we all feel like it is because of how athletic they are. So what he said is like, oh, they made a big splash in free agency, but these three chose to go to the Clippers instead of the Lakers.
Yes. Yes. Great job, Joe. I don't know if I have anything. We'll just
Yeah.
There you go.
those. What else I got here for Joe?
Tony Khan's a bitch ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Well, that's that. But that's what I thought of when I read the article. It's like, okay, the Clippers sometimes make a big splash in free agency. What did they want? People
I
still
bet
talk
you
about the
can't get a
Lakers.
boner.
there you go.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
That's what the Clippers are.
I bet you can't get a boner.
See James Harden trying to block his own teammate's shot from Wednesday. That true story. It happened. Anyway, real quick before we get out of here, it's a short show. You know how it is when I host. I kind of just hit some stuff and then go on Sunday. GCW, the block is hot. Nick Gage and Danhausen are a team. How awesome is that? And then on Saturday, GCW, it's Matt Cardona against Danhausen
In Detroit.
So, I know you guys aren't, you go to GCW. So this is more for the listeners or the viewers on YouTube. You should get Triller TV, formerly Fight TV. If you get Triller TV Plus, it's $7 a month, and you get access to all of their indie shows, including all the GCW shows. There's an independent out of Cleveland, AIW. They always get a lot of good names. Santino Brothers Wrestling in LA. They just had an amazing show this past Saturday. Great title match between Slice Boogie and Big Dick Haas. So if you know the indies or you want to try something new, go get Fight TV. This isn't an ad or a sponsored thing. I've had it for a year now, and I love being able just to throw on random indies and people that I never seen before, including Paul Walter Hauser against Matt Cardona from
last week.
Yeah, from last week. And there was a flaming table spot, and Bully Ray got involved, and it was awesome. So,
Did you see what Bully Ray tweeted about the picture?
I don't know.
Yeah, Cardona did a still shot of him about to go through the table, and he said, "You know what? Just put it at make this an 8x10 and sell it, you merchandise whore."
That's
I
funny.
probably will.
I'm
'Cause
like,
they're
yep,
doing-
and he's going to. I'm like, yep, sign it, sell it, you merchandise whore.
And they're apparently doing Bully Ray and Paul Walter Hauser against Cardona and a partner. So we'll see how that goes. And I think that's I think that's WrestleMania weekend. So Paul Walter Hauser, Emmy Award winner, Oscar winner, a friend of
Golden Glove.
Him and I have a mutual friend.
Stingray.
So met him once. Yeah, he was Stingray. He was in a show called Kingdom, which I really enjoyed. Not too many people know about that.
He was Richard Jewell in the Clint Eastwood movie. I mean, like, that was like an amazing performance by him. So he's a really, really good actor.
Yeah, Paul's a good dude, man. I'm happy for everything. And finally, Jack Perry. Remember him?
No,
he's popped up. He popped up in New Japan about a month ago, and he is wearing an armband that says scapegoat because he is the one being blamed and only should have been suspended a few months, but is going on 7 months of a suspension because he's the reason Tony Khan does not have his favorite wrestling action figure, CM Punk, anymore. Thoughts on Jack Perry? You know, he showed up at New Japan and tore up a contract in finger quotes, but that doesn't actually mean the contract isn't valid anymore if you just tear it up. But anyway, so he showed up there. He's been popping up on New Japan. He's been having some stuff. And what do you want to do with him? Should he come back to AEW? Should he never come back? Should they just cut ties and let him do New Japan? Like, what do you think? What would you do with Jack Perry, Joe?
Let him wait a little bit longer.
Okay.
They got the 3 new figs right now. They should be playing with them, not dusting old ones off that went through real glass back in August. So
yeah,
let him wait a little bit. Like, he's making it. We're talking about him. We weren't talking about him this much when he was in AEW. So let him make a name for himself and come back at All In 1 year later.
Kev?
See if he's actually still a pillar.
Oh, yeah, that's true. He was one of the pillars, him and MJF and Sammy and Darby. And Sammy is suspended, apparently. Darby broke his foot. And I just saw a video today. He hit a ramp in an SUV over his house. And apparently he's got Mount Everest coming. So,
no, I read that Mount Everest this year is canceled now.
Is it
because of the injury?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so it's a real injury?
Like him breaking a limb?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it was real.
I didn't know that.
I got worked, I guess. So
unless I got worked again. Shit, I got worked earlier. So who knows? Who knows? Joe, let me ask Joe. Joe, take the time machine back. Like the Wayne's World. When Okada won the belt and it showed the clip in the back where it was like a delayed reaction from the Bucks and then they cheered.
Okay.
Was it meant to show that?
No. I think it was like they just went to him early.
See, maybe me and Joe both got work then, Jay.
I think it's part of the act.
What do you mean? Like that they're just executives?
That they messed up the production on purpose. Like, I think it's all part of the act. Because a couple weeks ago they had that live hit and it was obviously not live.
Yeah.
It would make sense if they didn't mess up production so many times. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 642 times, shame on me.
What are you talking about? Rampage at the end?
Rampage.
Yeah, that match was so long it went into Rampage.
Well,
what else happened on AEW? Oh, Joe, what? No, I'm just kidding.
We're good.
We're good.
Yeah.
I'll just listen and comment.
Yeah, we know Canadians like hockey. Sure, we get it. So anyway, Brian not here. Joe, thanks for showing up. Obviously I'm paying you too much for staying in a nice resort right there on the ocean like that. And yes, I know you're in Michigan and it's not an ocean, a-hole. So at That WrestlePod on social media, youtube.com/That Wrestling Podcast. And you can always pick up a t-shirt or hoodie of some sort of merchandise at whatamaneuver.net. For Kevin, for Joe, for Jason, for Brian, enjoy wrestling.
Thanks for watching That Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And for more That Wrestling Podcast content, follow at That WrestlePod on social media.